Welcome to today's Explainer. We're jumping straight into a profound paradigm shift that could literally transform how you view your everyday reality. Because, let's be honest, if you've ever had that fleeting feeling that the physical world around you is somehow incomplete or just an illusion, well, the framework we're exploring today is going to give you an incredibly powerful new lens to see your life through. We're pulling this directly from the first chapter of a fascinating text called The Silent Buddha, which unpacks the fundamental teachings of Buddhism, known as the 3 Marks of Existence. This source really aims to demystify some pretty complex spiritual philosophy to reveal the voiceless voice of enlightenment. But more than that, it's a highly practical guide. It's designed to break down our most stubborn illusions, which is absolutely crucial for anyone seeking a clearer, more grounded perspective on life. Now, to truly grasp these concepts, the text hits us right away with a powerful thought from the great Zen master Dogen Zenji. He talks about listening not with the ears, but with the whole body. What does that actually mean for us? It signals that we have to move beyond our limited physical senses to perceive a much deeper eternal truth. If we try to box this up using just our everyday conventional logic, we're going to miss the entire profound message. So, here is our roadmap for today. We'll be looking at the illusion of reality, time and impermanence, space and non-self, awakening through nirvana, and finally, emptiness and altruism. Let's dive right in. Section 1. The illusion of reality. Section 2. Time and impermanence. To wake us up from the illusion of our daily reality, the text actually deconstructs time to break our attachments. Think about it. We are so used to seeing our current circumstances as fixed and solid, right? But the Buddhist perspective aggressively challenges that. And that brings us to the first fundamental mark of existence, shoujo mujo, or impermanence. From a strictly temporal perspective, the teaching is that absolutely everything changes and nothing remains constant. In the eternal flow of time, no physical object, no situation, and definitely no biological body lasts forever. It's basically the universe's ultimate unbroken rule. The source paints some really vivid imagery to show this impermanence in action. We're talking about bustling towns that eventually turn into empty, quiet fields, towering mountains that erode over millennia to become ocean floors, and of course, the ever-flowing river that literally never holds the exact same water twice. It makes the takeaway incredibly clear. Clinging to temporary things and expecting them to stay the same is the absolute root cause of human suffering. Section 3, Space and Non-Self. Okay, so having completely deconstructed time, the text now turns to deconstruct space, and with it, our very sense of identity. This is the second mark of existence, shoho muga, or non-self. This concept strips away the comforting idea that there is any permanent, unchanging self-nature in the physical objects or bodies we see around us. From a spatial perspective, everything is essentially empty of a permanent physical core. Now, that doesn't mean things aren't here right now in front of us. It just means they exist only temporarily due to a specific set of causes and conditions. And the text makes a really crucial contrast here. It bluntly describes our false self, which is our physical body built by the 5 senses, as just a temporary leather bag filled with water. I know, it's a little harsh maybe, but it absolutely nails the point. If you think you are just this physical body, you are actively being deceived. On the flip side of that coin, we have the true self. This self is spiritual, it's eternal, and it's sustained by the invisible, harmonious energy of the divine or God and Buddha. Denying that physical false self is basically step 1 to discovering your true self. So, that leads to a pretty stark question, perfectly mirroring the source text's profound inquiry. If time changes everything, and space is essentially empty of any permanent substance, then who exactly is the I standing here right now? It completely flips the old Western philosophy of I think, therefore I am on its head. It pushes us to realize that the I we think is trapped in time and space isn't the real you at all. The real you exists totally beyond these dimensions. Section 4. Awakening and Nirvana. Answering that profound question brings us to the third mark, Nihanja Kujo, or Nirvana. And we need to clarify something. This isn't some mystical, faraway place in the clouds. It is a state of ultimate freedom and peace achieved right here, right now. How? By realizing these truths and just letting go of all those attachments. It is the profound discovery of the eternal true self that exists perfectly at the intersection of time and space, completely unbound by the chaotic, constant changes of the physical world. Now, there's a very important distinction made in the source material that we absolutely have to touch on. It specifically warns that realizing this emptiness isn't some dark, depressing retreat into nothingness or nihilism.
It's the exact opposite, actually. It's a joyous liberation. The text uses this fantastic metaphor, comparing it to breaking free from the tiny, restrictive eggshell or cocoon of our physical limitations, so we can finally step into a vastly larger, eternal reality.
Section 5. Emptiness and altruism.
Because here's the thing. Once you achieve this ultimate peace, you don't just go sit quietly on a mountaintop for the rest of your life. We pivot from the initial realization of true emptiness, no form, which simply means knowing everything is an illusion and cutting off your attachments, to something much more profound. It's called true emptiness, wondrous being. This means returning to the world, knowing full well it's an illusion, but finding the miraculous light and mercy of the divine right in the middle of it. This evolution launches what the text calls the bodhisattva path. It's an active life, totally overflowing with great compassion, dedicated to guiding others out of their suffering. So, the entire journey laid out in the text actually acts as a really clear 3-step guide. First, you deny the false self constructed by the physical senses. Second, you discover your true eternal self living within. And third, and this is really the most important part, you use that newly enlightened perspective to live actively for others. This is the absolute essence of true altruism, evolving your own soul while actively lifting up everyone around you in this temporary physical world. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a final thought to really chew on. Knowing that the physical world is entirely temporary and that your true self is eternal, are you ready to let go of the illusion? Will you look at the world and the people in it with a completely new set of eyes and a heart of great compassion? The path is laid out right in front of us. Keep learning, keep seeking, and keep looking beyond the illusion.